Good morning, everybody. This is Lynn from A Bit of Birdsong. This is one of my favorite times of the day. It's morning and I have my coffee. I do have to go to work today, but I love my job. It's the first time I've ever done something where I am just as happy at work as I am at home, and that is saying a lot. So look at the top of this sweet box. Maybe that inspired me and I didn't even realize it. Jason's mom gave me a really pretty coffee cup for my birthday. This one has coffee in it, so I cannot turn it over. But I wonder if I tilt it, if you can see the side of that at all. These are all from the same series, these really whimsical birds. And let's see what this says. Who makes these? I'm not sure, but I just love that. Oh, and this little plant. So that is the narrow leaf plantain bloom, I believe. There's broadleaf plantain, and that's not the fruit. It's a weed that grows. The broadleaf, I used to have a lot in my yard. A lot of people do. If you don't spray weed killer, you probably have. And I love the weeds. I used to put them in my herbal infusions. But the broadleaf, it is supposed to be really effective against staph bacteria, staph infection. And it was called white man's footprint by the Indians because it tends to grow where there's a lot of foot traffic. It's kind of different in that way. It's very, very hardy. But then there is a more narrow leaf plantain, and it has this spiky bloom on it with these cute little flowers. They're not that big. But we used to shoot them. You could break the stem off at the ground and wrap the stem around the bloom underneath, and when you pushed it up, the bloom would pop off. You can also make cricket traps out of these long, spindly blooms. I'm inspired this morning to do something with this little bird. This page is green. It's very botanical. I'm not sure what you will have on your page, but let your page inspire you. I want to go back and show you, I did go ahead and take my moon charm that I had traced and cut out over here. And I also made this really fun little envelope. And this is a little clip that I found. That looks like a money clip. I just put it on the page. This was a birthday card, but I took it apart. You know, a lot of times the fronts of cards, it's really two layers and you can pull them apart. And that is where Jay's poem is. I took the card apart and just sewed the sides up, and I really like that. So gonna go ahead and keep this here, and I gotta push that clip out a little bit so that'll fit. And then the moon charm is finally attached to the page. Another thing I did was to put this little experimental drawing and playing around with the photo paper. I think it's adorable. Reminds me a little bit of the Mona Lisa. So I put that on this page. The colors just mix right in. And it seems like I added something else. I know what it is. I went ahead and stamped the word queen right here under my grandmother who's wearing the crown. And I don't like to waste anything. I have found that if I'm working with something, if there's any left over, I go ahead and use it somewhere nearby in the journal because it will blend in. And after I used that off-white acrylic paint to stamp the word queen, and I did have to go back over the queue with some distress ink because that was on a white dress, I went ahead and took the brush and put the rest of that white paint on this tab, and I really, really like that. So it just gave that a little more body, a little more character. I think that's all that I wanted to show you as far as going back and adding to. I have to say, I love the way Sandra put birds on the front of her cover. I have the cameo here, but it did make me wonder if I should add something else, and I might do that before it's over with. So let's get back to our current page. I do have an idea for this. So the first thing I want to show you, I had already done this. Where this tag is on this side, I really didn't want that showing up over here. It was the back of the tag. I love the texture, but I took this, I believe it's some type of duct tape, Nashua tape, and you can get it at places like Home Depot. I found mine used. It's kind of expensive when you buy it new, so I'm not telling you to rush out and get this, but just look at everything as something you could use. I'm not sure if aluminum foil could be glued down. It probably can, but you could cut a strip of that, and think of what you could do with alcohol ink and aluminum foil. So I put this here. It actually has a little bit of paper still stuck to it. Took a couple of little pieces and covered that tag. And I know, I have an idea for the bird. I'm going to go ahead and cut this bird out. And it's going to take me just a little bit because I want to cut part of the branches out as well. I have the bird completely cut out. Oh, and I love the way that looks. It does take some time to cut out something. Fussy cutting, I guess it's called. And I'm not sure we have the patience these days as people used to have. Imagine before cell phones and computers, these are the types of things that everyone did for entertainment. Children and even ladies, you know, keeping paper crafts. That was one thing they did have access to. And they made beautiful scrapbooks, and I'm glad that we can still do that in spite of having all of these things to distract us. So I think I want this bird to stand up a little bit. And do I dare try this? It is so pretty the way it is. I had thought about cutting a tiny little slit in the paper here and here, you know, on each side of the claws, so that I could put a string or something through and make it look like it's holding on to. I was going to use that very natural fiber that I have, but this branch is so thin, I think it would take it right out. Now a needle and thread with something really thin on it is another idea. I'm not sure. And we know that birds love strings to take to their nest, any type of yarn or anything like that. But I do love this so far. I want to see if I can mute down this green that ended up in the center. Yeah, that looks like it's gonna tone down. I want to leave the moon though. You can see some distressing already there, but that was from another page. And just put some distress ink in the center here, and it looks like my brush is way too wet. I am going to try putting some thread on this branch. We're going to try it and just see. I went ahead and punched holes in the front so I can see where they are. So if this goes through here and then back up there, and it does add a little texture. I probably should have used brown or something, but we're going to leave it like that. Let's just go ahead and put that into place. I did think about doing some stamping underneath, but sometimes we don't have a lot of journaling time, and I do have to be at work later, so I'm going to just do what I have time to do. I'm not going to worry. I am going to leave the top part of this unglued right now, and I like the way this branch is cut flush here. It allows me to put it right at the bottom of the page and have it look like it's just coming up from there naturally. This will let me add something underneath if I want to as well. One of the things I definitely want to do is to journal, because one of the reasons we are doing this is to definitely get words onto the pages. Journaling is so important as a record keeping and just so many things. So somewhere I have a black Sharpie. We had it not long ago, didn't we? Now I can't find it. I have my purple. Let's see. That color might be better. Ah, there's the black one. That's what I want. So let's move the journal for just a minute. And I will do my writing for today. I love Sharpies for art journaling. This to me is just a really pretty effect, and it's something easy to do, to write on vellum, or this is actually just from a little clear envelope that I had, like one of those pocket envelopes, and you can attach it in so many ways. We could do a prong fastener, we could do paper clips, we can staple it, we could glue it. I think I might glue this one down. I thought about staples, but I don't, this paper might be a little delicate, and if I put, maybe not, but I don't want the staples to end up ripping through it. So I'm just going to glue that, and that glue will dry clear. And in the meantime, that's pretty cool, actually. So I just put a nice strip of glue up there. I can still lift this up and work some more underneath here. And I think I'm going to add some more distressing to that page. So we've done our writing. I think it's really nice to have journal entries to go back and just read. Yeah, I should have added a different color string to that, but that's okay. We could even put some gesso on that. In fact, let's just see what happens, and I'm sure we'll end up getting some on the page, but that's okay. Let's just get a tiny bit. I like that better already. Like I said, I don't really like to waste anything if I've got it on the brush or a big pile somewhere. And I love gesso, so let's just put that on the page while we have it. And I will leave this up for now. One more thing that I might want to do on this page, some type of stamp. Could put it on there. I kind of like that. That's a really pretty stamp. So that will probably need glue. Do you remember the big December journal that I did? The daily December or December daily? And we learned about the European goldfinch, I think it was, that was very symbolic in Christian art, especially of the Madonna. So it's sweet to have a bird here. That looks like a tanager. That's neat how some of the distress ink came off of the edge of the brush when I pressed down. I'm going to stop for now because I do have to get ready for work. I love this page so far. In a way, it feels like it needs something else. Maybe this needs to be toned down a little bit. Actually, you know what? Before we stop, let's do that. I think that might be what's kind of bothering me. Tone that down just a little bit. It's kind of funny to have a green moon, but that's okay. It's a jungle moon. We'll call it a jungle moon. I feel it might need something else, but you know how our journaling goes. We can come back and add later. Actually, one thing I want to do is see what the alcohol ink does on that duct tape. And the wallpaper. I like that. Doesn't that make it pretty? I love this dark down here. I think that kind of helps to calm down that green moon as well. So I'm going to stop and go get ready for work. I have a new scrappy dress to wear to work today. Maybe I'll do a little fashion stump picture before I go. And in case you don't know what the fashion stump is, we have a stump in the yard, and sometimes I take a picture of what I'm wearing while I'm standing on the stump. So it kind of comically got called the fashion stump. And anyway, it's fun. So I will see you soon. Thank you so much for watching.